Lesson 5, Morphology of Flowering Plants. In today's video, I'm going to discuss about a very important topic which is called as inflorescence. At first, let us discuss what is inflorescence. The arrangement of flowers on the stem axis is called as inflorescence. As we know, the flowers they are either born singly or in clusters. So in case of some flowers such as poppy flower, then China rose, they have their single occurrence, either that is found in the terminal end or in the axillary end of the stem. That is the solitary flowers that we term it as. Now in case of the inflorescence, the flowers they occurs in cluster on a stem axis, and this main axis in which the whole arrangement of the flowers occur is called as peduncle, and over the peduncle there are small thin stem structures which is called as the pedicel or stalk of the flower. In that way, there are a few types of inflorescence that we can observe in the whole angiospermic plants. As we know that the angiosperms, they are the flowering plants, therefore the arrangement of flowers it is different in case of different types of plants. So let's discuss about the types of inflorescence. There are three main types of inflorescence. These are racemose inflorescence, cymose inflorescence, and one special type of inflorescence. Now let's at first discuss about the racemose inflorescence. In case of the racemose inflorescence, the main axis, that is the peduncle, it possesses a terminal bud which grows indefinitely, giving rise to lateral and axillary flowers. So here we can see that the growth of the inflorescence it is unlimited, and this unlimited growth takes place because of the length of the stem, and the arrangement of the flowers on the peduncle is either acropetal, that is youngest at the apex and oldest at the base, or centripetal, that is younger towards the center and older towards the apex and base is seen. This is also called as indeterminate because the long axis, that is the peduncle, it tends to grow throughout its flowering time, and we can see a cluster of flower right at the tip. And because of the development of the lateral and the axillary flowers, it possesses a order which is called as the acropetal order, or this can also be in the form of centripetal order. As I have said before, what is the meaning of acropetal? Acropetal, it means that the younger flowers, the newly formed flowers, it will be towards the tip, and the older flowers it will be towards the base or towards the lower side. Similarly, centripetal, it means that the younger flowers it will be towards the center, and the older flower it will be towards the base or towards the apex. Now let's see the other types of racemose inflorescence, because the racemose inflorescence, that is also divided into few more types, and these are a typical raceme, where the racemose inflorescence having a common elongated axis, and these are stalked flowers arranged in acropetal succession, which we can see in terms of plants like mustard, radish, etc. So this is a normal raceme as I have defined it just now. Then another one is the spike, where the flowers are arranged in the same acropetal order, but here the flowers are stalkless. That means they do not have the pedicel, as for example in case of the bottle brush flower. So there, that is the spike inflorescence. Then next comes the catkin. Now catkin, this is a pendulous spike. That means it hangs like a pendulum. It is not from an erect axis. Here the flowers, it develops from the axillary position of the stem, and it hangs downward, and therefore this is called as the pendulous spike, and it consists of small unisexual flowers, as for example in case of mulberry. Then comes the spadix. So in case of spadix, the spike with thick and fleshy axis covered by one or more large bracts. Example in case of maize, banana, colocasia, etc. All this is called to be the spadix. So the banana flower, let's take the example of the banana flower. We can see that there are large colored bracts, and these colored bracts, they are called as sput, and inside or outside these bracts there arises the stalkless flower, which are arranged in a fleshy axis in the same acropetal order. So that is the spadix. Then comes corymb. Now corymb, it is a modified raceme with relatively short peduncle, in which the lower flowers have much elongated pedicel than the upper ones. So here the flowers, they come to the same level. Example, here we can take the example of Iberis amara. So in common English term, it is called as candy tuft. So there, the lower flowers, that means the older flowers, they have a longer pedicel, and the younger flowers, which are towards the tip of the stem axis, so they have the short peduncle. So in that way, all the flowers, they come to the same level. Then next comes the umbel. So umbel, this is also a modified raceme in which the flowers have stalks, but here all the stalks or the pedicels, they are of the same length. They are of the same length, and in case of both the corymb and the umbel, here their order of succession, that is centripetal one. This is the centripetal succession. In case of umbel, the examples, that is Centella asiatica, which is called as the hydrocotyle, and also we can see that in case of coriander flower. So these are examples of umbel. Then lastly comes the capitulum. Again, this is of importance, because this is a modified raceme in which the main axis, that gets flattened, and this flattened stem axis is called as the receptacle. So at this receptacle, it can be either concave or convex or spherical or flat, and it bears numerous sessile, that means stalkless flowers, which are called as the florets. To the whole say for example the sunflower, this is wholly the flower, and the sunflower, as we know that this one is a larger flower, and inside it there are small florets. So these numerous small flowers inside the receptacle, this is called as the florets, as we can see in case of sunflower, marigold, etc., and they are all arranged in centripetal manner. Now in case of the capitulum, it bears two types of flower. One is called as the ray floret, which is towards the periphery, that means towards the outer side, and those flowers which are towards the inner part of the plate or the receptacle, these are called as the disc floret. And this capitulum, this is a special inflorescence which is found in case of the family Asteraceae. So this family, this is the family of sunflower, which is called as Asteraceae. So these are a few types of the different types of racemose inflorescence that we can see, and there are some other modifications also depending upon that, as for example the panicle, or that is also called as the spikelet, this is found in case of the rice plant, wheat plant, etc. So this is another part which gets extended from the racemose inflorescence. These are the special ones for the racemose inflorescence. Now next, let's come to the cymose inflorescence. Now in case of the cymose inflorescence, there the stem axis, it gets terminated by a flower. The main axis or the peduncle in case of the cymose inflorescence, there the flower terminates the growth of the stem axis, and therefore this type of inflorescence, this is called as the determinate one, or we can say that they have a definite growth. And later the other flowers, they are also born from the lateral branches which arise just below the terminal flower, and this lateral branches also terminates into a flower, and in that way they have an arrangement of the order basipetal or centrifugal. That is, the outer or basal flowers are younger and the central or upper flowers are older. And this type of inflorescence, it can be found in case of plants like begonia, then ixora, that in Assamese we call it as the ohukful, jasmine, dianthus, etc. Now this cymose inflorescence, this is also of mainly three types, and these three types are uniparous or monocaseal cyme, biparous or dicaseal cyme, and multiparous or polycaseal cyme. So these are the three types of cymose inflorescence, where in case of the uniparous or monocaseal cyme, the main axis terminates into a flower, and there is single lateral branches that arises from below the terminal flower, and that gives rise to the other younger flowers just below the terminal flower. Now in case of the biparous cyme, there also the main axis, it terminates into a flower, but there is two lateral branches or a pair of lateral branches that arise below the terminal flower, as we can see in case of ixora, dianthus, jasmine flowers, etc. And in case of polycaseal cyme, the main axis that terminates into a flower, and below that flower there may arise many lateral branches in which they also gets terminated by the flowers, as we can see in case of calotropis. So therefore it is called as multiparous cyme. So the difference between the racemose inflorescence and the cymose inflorescence is that in case of racemose inflorescence, there the growth, the development of the flower that does not stop the growth of the whole stem axis, and it elongates as the new flowers also starts forming, and it leaves behind the older flowers below. But in case of the cymose inflorescence, the main difference it is that there the main axis it is terminated by the flower, and there we cannot see the stem growth, and the younger flowers, they are developed only below the main flower or the terminal flower. So this is all about the cymose and the racemose inflorescence. Now let's come to the special types of inflorescence. The special types of inflorescence, it is of three types: Hypanthodium, Cyatheum and Verticilliaster. They are called a special type because of some different arrangement of the flowers, which is not same as that of the racemose and the cymose inflorescence, or this we can call to be the modified versions of the racemose or the cymose inflorescence. Now let's try to understand how they are different. Now let's at first come to the first one, that is the Hypanthodium. So Hypanthodium, it is a special type of inflorescence formed by the condensation of the main axis into a cup of flux-shaped fleshy receptacle with a small apical opening called ostiole. So as we know that in case of the racemose inflorescence, the main axis that may get condensed to form a flat structure which we call to be as the receptacle, and it was found in case of sunflower stem. Now in case of the Hypanthodium, the receptacle, it takes the shape of a cup or flask shaped structure which totally gets enclosed, and in that enclosed receptacle the flowers are born, and they have only a small apical opening. That means here the flowers, they are enclosed by the outer stem axis, which is called as the receptacle, and they have a small opening which is called as the ostiole. Now this flux shaped structure or the cavity inside, it bears three types of flowers. First is the male flowers which are present near the opening. The male flowers, they are present towards the upper side or near the ostiole. Female flowers in the basal part. The female flowers, that means here in case of Hypanthodium, we will find unisexual flowers. So there the female flowers there towards the lower side of the receptacle cavity. And there are also neutral flowers in the middle, which contains the egg or pupa of insects. Neutral flowers in the sense that they do not have the definite androecium or gynoecium, the male or the female reproductive part. In that case, they will be called as neutral flower, and there we would find the eggs or pupa of different types of insects. And such type of inflorescence, that is the Hypanthodium, it is found in case of Ficus carica, Ficus religiosa, that is the peepal tree. Now let's come to Cyatheum. So Cyatheum, it is also a special type of cymose inflorescence which is much condensed. It has a small conical receptacle, again that is the condensed axis, surrounded by a green or brightly colored involucre. The cyme is composed of terminal female flowers. Here the female flowers, it will be towards the tip part and hangs down, and the male flower surrounds the female flowers in centrifugal manner. That means the older flower, it will be in the middle or in the center, and the younger flowers, that will be spread towards the periphery. And such kind of Cyatheum inflorescence, it is found in case of Euphorbia. And lastly comes the Verticilliaster. So Verticilliaster is again a special type of cymose inflorescence which is found in a family which is called as Labiatae. And this Labiatae family, it is the family for Tulsi plant. So it is condensed head formed by the union of cymose inflorescence in the axils of two opposite leaves. In case of plants like Tulsi or plants like Leucas aspera, so that in Assamese we call it to be the drunbon. So there the axils of the opposite leaves at the node bears such kind of inflorescence. The flowers are sessile and they are bilabiate. That means they have two, the corolla, it have two tongue-like corolla which forms a cluster or verticil. Verticil, that means the false hole around the stem, and the two opposite clusters together, they are called as the verticilluster. As it falls, as it makes a false hole like structure because of the formation of some leaf-like structures long or the calyxes that is attached with the node of along with the flower, so it makes a cluster, and that cluster, it looks like a false hole of flowers. So that is why such type of inflorescence is called as the verticilluster inflorescence. So in case of these three types, so there are some special qualities of the racemose or the cymose inflorescence, and for that they takes a different pattern of formation of the flowers over the stem axis, and therefore they are regarded as the special type of inflorescence. So in today's class we discussed about what is inflorescence, the types of inflorescence, that is the racemose inflorescence, cymose inflorescence, and the special types of inflorescence. Thank you.